Guys, I will start with the operating system only. So then I will come back to the BIOS part. Okay. So fresh topic. So what is the operating system? What is operating system? So your operating system is, you can see it is, there is a hardware. So we discussed like a hardware, right? So we have a processor. What is meaning of hardware? We have a processor, RAM, memories, hard disk, motherboard is there, keyboard is there, mouse is there, monitors are there. So these are all hardware part. Okay, these are all hardware part. Now I want to work with the hardware. I want to work with the hardware. I want to give something is like a b add a plus b suggestion I want to give. So I want to give like a 10 plus 20. This is the instruction I want to give. So I'm giving an instruction like a additional instruction, and there is a data 10 and 20. Add these two numbers to my processor. I want to give. How to give? How to give? We need an input device. Yeah, you connected an input device. So first of all, you have to write about the instruction and the values and here. So this is called a assemble language type. So here of olden days, we people use a cable connections for programming the computer, and later they use assemble language. If any one of you or belongs to CSC, IT, ECE department or ENTC, 8085, 8086 programming or microcontroller programming, 8085, 8086 microprocessor programming, 805251, 251, 252, something is there like that. So that is micro, like a IoT programming is came out now. So IoT programming, right? Arduino Uno boards, Raspberry Pi programming. So these are people will give some assemble language. They initially we are use assemble language. Nowadays we are having a C language kind of stuff. It will convert high level language into low level language like a hexa code and burn into the chip, right? So like that operating system, not operating system, I want to give an instruction or I want to work with the hardware. I need a more easy because everyone is not IT specialist, right? You want to use in your mobile phone something, you want to use an app or you want to browse something, you want to search for something, right? So what is the interference, right? You have a mobile hardware, but and you want to do something with it. You want to call to something. There must be interfaces must be required, right? So you have a hardware, okay, and you want to work with this hardware. There must be a interference must be there. There is a in middle between user and hardware. There must be something which support us work with the hardware. Okay, make it more easy to work with it. Visually things should be there. So that is nothing but our operating system. Different type of operating systems are there, guys. Windows, Mac OSs, Linuxes, mobile operating system, real-time operating systems also there. User want to interact with the hardware, he cannot interact directly, so there is a requirement of operating system. What is the use of this operating system? I am using an application, right? So I'm using a PPT. I'm using a Microsoft Teams. I'm using a web browser. Okay, I'm uploading a recorded files. I'm recording a session, right? So, right, I'm using an Excel sheet. I'm using Excel sheet. I'm using a WordPad. I'm using Python application. I'm using Java applications, right? So I want to run an applications. I want to run applications. So then I'm using some application. So meaning is I'm running an application on the operating system only. I cannot run the applications directly on the hardware. I can't run applications directly on the hardware. I can't give any instructions or work to the directly hardware. How to work with applications? Application runs on operating system. Okay, operating system interacts with your hardware. So this is a basic part of your operating system. Guys, understand? Very good. Operating system is nothing but a software or a program which interface between user and a computer hardware. Using operating system runs to run other programs. Okay, for example, Notepad, WordPad, Excel, or a PowerPoint, a web browser. So these are all applications running on an operating system only. Okay, so your operating system basically two parts. One is a kernel, another one is a shell part. The kernel interacts with the hardware. Kernel part interacts with your hardware. Shell parts provide interface for a user, that is called a user interface. That is called a user interface. Shell provide a user interface. Shell runs user applications. Shell take a input from users. Okay, when you type a command, so where you type in a command line. Okay, like that, right? You are using like that, right? So shell part and kernel part. But when we are talking about a Windows operating system, we never talk about a kernel and shell. But when you are learning Linux or Unix operating systems, we may have seen this kind of diagram like a kernel and shell part. Why? Why? Because of kernel and shell can be managed in a Linux and Unix operating system, but we cannot touch these things in a Windows operating system because Windows operating system completely closed operating system. So you cannot touch the base files of source code of the operating system files. Okay, source code of operating system, we can't touch it. So again, guys, operating system basically two parts. One is kernel. The kernel part of operating system interacts with your hardware. Okay, shell part of operating system provide a user interface. So we can run an applications, we can interact with your PC, you can give the commands on the shell only. Again, so what is this kernel part will manage? It will manage your hardware. Okay, kernel manage your hardware management, disk management, memory management, process management, network management. These are the main parts of your hardware management things. Disk management, process management, memory management, network management kind of stuff. Next, shell interacts with the user, provide a user interface. Okay, in a Linux or Unix, we have a different type of things are there. So widely used is a bash shell, Bourne shell, Bourne shell. It is a updated version of Bourne shell. It is updated version of Bourne shell. Okay, is a Bourne shell and different shells also there. Okay, so that is in Linux and Unix, but this is not a Linux and Unix class, right? And someone asked me a question, that's why I added this information is, sir, what is user interface? What is CLI, GUI kind of stuff? Guys, CLI means command line interface. For example, Linux and Unix basically CLI type. Okay, even this is not a command line interface, but I can give some inputs or I can run some application, or maybe I want to create a file. I want to read the file. I want to delete the file. I want to create a directory. I want to change the directory, or I want to code a program, or maybe I want to control a task. I want to delete a task, or I want like that, or I want to divide my hard disk, or partition the hard disk. Okay, so from the commands only. This is a command line interface. I want to check my IP address. Okay, I want to change my IP address. Okay, I want to disable my network. Okay, these are all managing my system or using my system by commands. It's called a command line interface. Okay, just I didn't want to open against Linux. That's why I showed only normal like what is command line is. You do work with the command line. That is a command line interface. GUI, basically Windows is a GUI based interface. MS-DOS, Microsoft DOS is a CLI operating system, and Windows is a GUI operating system. You know, there is a question, you know, even in some movies and all, what is the question is, um, Bill Gates is the founder of Microsoft. The Microsoft operating system is Windows operating system, right? Bill Gates is a founder of Microsoft. Microsoft operating system is Windows operating system. So why Bill Gates put the name of operating system as a Windows, not as a Gates? Okay. Why? This is a window. This part we call it as a window. This is a window. Okay. Here it is. This is a window. Okay. So this is the window. So multiple windows means multitasking is possible, right? So it is a multitasking, single user multitasking operating system, and multitasking means multiple windows you can open. Unlike other operating system, like a CLI based operating system, in Microsoft Windows, we can open multiple windows like this. So this is a window, and multiple windows means it is a Windows. That's why they put a name of operating system is Windows. I think you got point. So it's a Windows. Okay, what is GUI? Graphical user interface. I can interact with my computer in a graphical user interface. For example, I open a web browser. I minimize the web browser. Okay, I open this WhatsApp thing, or maybe I open a folder. Okay, I open a folder. I open something from like this. Okay, so I can interface with my computer in a graphical way, not as a directly. I no need to type a command to work with a file. I can directly open a file, right? So that is a graphical user interface. So I'm muted or open. Okay. Last one is TUI. TUI, terminal or a text-based user interface. Terminal-based interface or a text-based interface is, guys, it's a old technology, but still now again it is implemented in a Linux-based operating systems. Okay, so what is this text-based operating system? So in CLI, everything is a command file kind of stuff. In GUI, directly you can open and manage. Like you want to delete an application, you can go to control panel, programs and files, you can uninstall the application, right? In a TUI, so in CLI, that is not much easy. You have to type the 2-3 commands to uninstall an application. But in TUI, it is not like that. It is, there is a one command is there, you put it. So you'll get some interactive type. Okay, not like you have to type all the command kind of stuff, not required. Simply basic interactive type text boxes will come up. You can do it. It's like if you remember Turbo C, a Turbo C++. The you want to save the window, then you can go to File, Save, Save As. You will get some interactive mode. We will get it right. So it's the same thing as a TUI. If you forget the Turbo C, no problem, but it is terminal-based interface. So Windows operating system basically GUI, graphical user interface, CLI, command line interface. Which one is? Linux and Unix is basically CLI, Windows is GUI. Okay, guys. So there is a different type of operating systems are there. Guys, up to now, okay? Am I confused? Okay. Then if you confuse or anything, please let me or stop or something. I will do that one. Okay. Or I will explain, or maybe I will slow down. No problem. Whatever we learn, how much we learn is different, guys. What we learn, we have to keep it in our mind. We can able to speak at interview. You can able to work with it. Okay. Now it is a simple operating system. Network operating system is there, guys. Simple operating system means desktop operating system. Microsoft DOS is an example of a simple operating system. Windows desktop operating system like Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 7, XP, Vista. These are all desktop operating systems comes under simple operating system. Network operating system is nothing but a server operating systems like Windows Server 2019, 2022, 2016, 2003, 2000 NT servers. These are all comes under network operating system. Linux is basically Linux is originally Linux based operating systems like Red Hat Enterprise Linux, CentOS, Fedora. These operating systems are basically server operating system. Unix operating system, HP, UX, Solaris, some other one or two varieties are there, Unix operating systems. So there are also comes under network operating system. If you see maximum people who are using a desktop base or laptop means desktop or laptop or personal desktop, personal laptop for using like what is the use of desktop operating system? Web browsing, playing games, applications, work with applications, right? Basic usages. We are not providing any particular service from your desktop. We are providing a service from network. Network operating system can able to provide a service, different type of services built in or by installing some application in it. So that is a server type. Desktop is act like a client or using for a personal purposes. Okay, web browsing, playing games, application management or programming, data running, data storing purpose. Okay. So another way is like another type we can say it is single user, single task, single user, multitask, multi-user, multitask. Single user, single task. This example is Microsoft DOS operating system. Only single user we can able to log in, and it is a CLI based, so obviously no multitasking. Single user multitask is the best example is Windows operating systems. All Windows, both server and client. Only one user can able to access at a time, and multiple tasks we can run it. For example, I'm running PowerPoint, Microsoft Teams, WhatsApp application, and Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge browser, Notepad file, PDF file in my PC. Currently, it is running directly. And background also there is some task will running, but it is still multitasking. Single user multitasking means only one user can able to log in, but multiple tasks they can run. He can run. Multi-user multitasking. Multi-user multitasking means it is a single system can able to log in by multiple users either directly or indirectly, means through network people can able to access, or directly also people can able to log in. Multiple type of users, multiple users, 10 users can able to log in at a time, or 20 users can log in at a time, 5 users can able to log in at a time, maybe 100 users can able to log in at a time, depends upon how you log. Okay, that is a multi-user multitasking. Multiple tasks can be run by single user or by multiple users also. Best example is Unix and Linux. So last time some people are added, sir, tell me about Android. Then it is I got this idea, mobile operating system. So in our mobile phones, we have an operating system. Lot of people think Android is an operating system. Generally, some people tell it is a OS. Some people it is telling it's some kind of application only. Okay, still Android or people are not decided properly. I'm not going to that one, but still it is my original point is, guys, whenever we looking at the smartphones, we think smartphones are having a operating systems. Nowadays, we are seeing looking at Android mobile phones, Android operating system, smartphone. When you are looking at Apple computer, so Apple mobile phones, iPhones or iPads having a iOS operating system. Other than that one, there's a lot of operating systems are there. So Symbian, Tizen, Windows mobile phone is there now. New version of actually Windows 10 mobile is removed from market. Okay, it's no longer updates are available for Windows 10, but something like a Windows 12 mobile operating system is going to become. Okay, maybe we have to wait to see once again how many changes are there. Okay, who will buy? Because problem is with the Windows operating system is apps problem. BlackBerry is another one. So BlackBerry is also very old. Now it is not there in the market. It's a new one is coming into the market, but the cost is different, right? So different operating system is there, guys. Google operating system, Google Pixel is again coming into the market. Google Pixel again coming to the market. Its cost is around 35 to 40,000. We'll see. I don't want to buy 40,000. If I want to invest on a mobile phone, I can buy another laptop. I have a plan to buy a laptop, so better I will buy two laptops. Guys, my sincere suggestion is don't buy Apple mobile phones because its cost is more than 50,000. If it is you got something second-hand mobile, like a 30,000 like that, all 30, 35, 40,000 no problem because it's an Apple phone, so obviously. But when you are going further, like you want to invest 70,000, 80,000 on an Apple mobile phone, or there is some super kids are there, super rich kids are there. People they think it's a middle class family, but things are like a rich things. Okay, I'm not saying let's we should not have that kind of idea, but problem with an idea is better to buy a laptop. If you have 1 lakh rupee, buy a normal laptop. Normal laptop, full graphic card, like a you can. Last time yesterday only I checked. Its cost is around 1,60,000 around the cost. It is 16 GB RAM, 8 GB graphics, 16 GB RAM, 8 GB graphics. Okay, 1 terabyte of storage. 15.6 screen size. Okay, so like so 1,60,000 you will get a wonderful computer laptop. Same thing you put it on an iPhone, means Apple Mac computer. You won't get that much RAM also, hard disk also. For that money you will get a normal computer. You will get that one in 50,000. You'll get normal computer for like you instead of buying that one. Okay, you buy 3 computers, or you can buy a server also. Okay, so mobile operating system is another hand. So which we are interacting, you want to interface. Real-time operating system, that is I added real-time operating system is I have a laptop and and you have a laptop, mobile phone, desktops, these things, general purpose operating systems we are using. We are all using general purpose operating system. It can be a Mac OS, it can be a Windows operating system, it can be a Linux operating system, like a Red Hat Linux operating system, CentOS, Fedora, Ubuntu, Linux Mint, Kali Linux, whatever it is. It's a general purpose operating system. general purpose operating system. For example, I have built a rocket. I build a rocket. I build some hardware. Okay, I build some hardware. Now I need an operating system to interface with that hardware. So I have to write my own operating system to interface that particular hardware only, the particular hardware. So operating system and hardware is that time only it will be right. But same operating system may not work for other different type of hardwares. For example, Windows, I can install an Intel i5 processor, i3 processor, i7 processor, and a Windows 10 also install in a AMD processor also. Understand? So I can use this Windows operating system on these different type of hardwares. Maybe Intel hardware, AMD hardware, or one or two extra hardware we can do it. But whenever we go through a specific hardware, for example, Nobis, Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi, I think you guys know a little bit knowledge, right? Raspberry Pi having can be operated with a Nobis operating system. One second. Okay. So what we are doing? Forget. Yeah. So real-time operating system are designed for a hardware specific operating systems designed by that engineers only. So that is the thing, guys. So and SOS, NOS, simple operating system, network operating. Network operating system means server operating system like a Windows Server, Linux, and Unix. SOS is a simple operating system, is basically desktop operating system, Windows operating system. Ubuntu desktop is also desktop operating system. Linux Mint is a desktop operating system. And otherwise, in an operating system, there is a single user, single task, single user, multitask, multi-user, multitask operating systems are there. I think you got the point, guys, up to here.
Yes, sir.
So when we discuss about SOS and NYS, what is the use of this desktop operating system? So we can run basic applications, games, data processing, programming, web browsing, audio, multimedia type, multimedia, audio, video, recording, we can able to do it, right? So we can play a video, we can listen to the songs kind of stuff. And another hand, our desktop operating systems also client for a servers. It's act like a client for a servers. Server operating systems are basically used to provide certain services to the customer by built-in features, by built-in roles and features, or by installing some applications. Example, DHCP server, DNS server, VPN servers, web server, file server, mail server. For example, mail server, Windows mail server, Exchange mail server, Microsoft Exchange mail server is there. It is an application. You install that application in a server operating system. The server become mail server by installing some application. DHCP, if you take a Windows Server operating system, DHCP is a one of the role. DNS is a one of the role. Okay. IIS is a one of the role. Okay. For example, you install a Tomcat. Yesterday only I removed all the things in my PC. Tomcat and Marvin, everything I removed. I don't know why I removed also. Wantedly I removed. I will want to put it again, so separately. I don't want to put everything in C drive. So I removed so many things from the C drive, including removed my Eclipse NetBeans from here. So many things are happening. Like in the Eclipse, 3 shortcuts on my screen. One Eclipse is Enterprise. Second one is Standard. Third one is PHP. Usually I like to install things, so I will try always and become more. So to save my system from lot of things, so I removed certain application. I have to remove lot of application from my PC. I will install it later, one by one, if I ask for if I required anything. Okay. So for example, you install a Tomcat, then your system become a application server or a web server. Application come web server it is. Okay. So like that. So proxy server, remote desktop server, deployment servers. These are the examples of servers based on the service it is providing. Guys, Windows server means it's a Windows server operating system. Linux server means Linux server operating system. A server providing a service to the client, but whether it is Linux or Windows, what service it is providing? Is it providing DHCP service or a DNS service or a web service or a file service or a mail service, or it is providing authentication service or any deployment service kind of stuff, or update services? Okay, firewall services. This is important. Okay. So we'll go back once again. So what is an operating system? Operating system is interacts with your hardware and provide a user interface and runs an application of users. Okay, operating system is nothing but a software or a program which interacts with your hardware and provide a interface to your okay. So here it is. Any operating system basically kernel and shell parts and SOS and OS, single user single task, single user multitask, multi-user multitask, real-time operating system, mobile operating systems, desktop operating system and server operating system. What is their differences? The next part we are going to discuss about Windows 10 operating system, but I want to tell this one now and then I will give you a break. Look at this. This is the Windows operating system architecture. See, earlier we have seen that is a Linux Unix operating system. So this diagram basically represent, whenever you're learning about a Linux or Unix, this diagram is represented. So kernel interacts with the hardware, shell interacts with the user, and we can modify or change in the Linux. So that's it is basically Linux system architecture. But this is the basically OS operating system. Sorry, OS architecture. Not Linux, not only Unix or Windows. It's a basic raw diagram of operating system architecture. Okay. Normally people think it is for a Linux and Unix only, of course. Because in Windows we never use that kind of diagram. But in a Windows 10 architecture is, if you look at this, bottom one is Windows kernel and device drivers. What is this device drivers, guys? What is the kernel duty? Basically, kernel duty interact with the hardware. How it will interact with the hardware? So operating system know how to interact with a particular hardware, like how to interact, how to talk to processor, how to talk to RAM, how to talk to network connection, how to talk to hard disk, how to talk to floppy disk or a CD-RAM, how to interact with chipsets, how to interact with video graphics, you know. So operating system contains the programs based on what kind of hardware you have in your system. Sometimes it is not enough. For example, I have an audio chip. The audio chip is a particular audio chip that related files are not there in my operating system. What I have to do? I have to install the drivers. I have to install the drivers. Drivers are nothing but a programs. Download the particular related audio drivers, install into your PC. So that program will help your operating system to communicate with your audio chip. Similarly for video chip, Wi-Fi hardware, Bluetooth hardware, LAN connections, LAN RJ45 connector is there, na? LAN connector, graphics connector. So what is this device drivers, guys? Device drivers are help. These are nothing but a program which is located at, whenever we install, the program is going to help your Windows kernel to understand how to interact with the particular hardware part. For example, If I connect a pen drive, sorry. A pen drive is another example. A printer. I connect a printer. Now my laptop don't know how to communicate with that printer. So what I have to do? I downloaded drivers for the printer based on the printer manufacturing, like a HP printer or a Epson printer or Canon printer, and the model like a 1000, 2000, 3000 model, and the type you have to download. The drivers, 32-bit drivers, 64-bit drivers are there, depends upon my operating system. I have to download that 32-bit or 64-bit, install the drivers. So then my operating system know how to interact with the particular printer. So what is the operating system? In the kernel wise, it is interact with your hardware. Device drivers are help your operating system to how to help to. It is nothing but a program which helps your operating system to interact with the hardware devices. If you connect a pen drive, we never install a drivers. Windows 98 operating system, everything you have to download. 98, 95, 97. That time, if you use a color monitor, you have to install the drivers for the color monitor. Otherwise, your hardware don't know, your operating system don't know how to interact with the color monitor. 95 operating system don't know how to interact with the color monitor. So you have to install drivers for a color monitor. So you purchase a monitor, color monitor, they'll give you a floppy disk with a monitor drivers in it. Use a keyboard. A normal keyboard, standard keyboard is okay. But if you are use a multimedia keyboard, for example, you're using a multimedia keyboard in a 98 operating system or 97 operating system, what is the thing you have to do it? So insert a keyboard and load. First of all, you have to insert basic keyboard, turn on your computer, load your multimedia keyboard drivers, then shut down your computer, remove the keyboard and insert it, because that time we don't have USBs, we have a PS/2. PS/2 is code swappable. Only we can connect in a system of condition only. Otherwise, you don't understand. Okay, so that is the thing. Similarly, I told my in 98 you connect a pen drive, so they will give you a CD for that one. Pen drive related CD will be there. So you have to install the drivers for the pen drive. Then only you can store the data or take the data from the pen drive. Okay, so that is the drivers thing. In a Windows XP, in operating system, there is a certain generic drivers are there. Basically, USB related drivers, generic drivers, LAN related generic drivers are there. So what happened? What are the if it is operating system able to understand what is the device and what is their drivers, it immediately load the drivers and it will interact. That's why XP become more popular than any other operating system. Both front and back, means before XP and after XP has become stable. Later Vista came, not much. Windows 7 came. Initially people like it, later no, but again Windows 7 only ruling the market. Then Windows 8 release, Windows 8.1, Windows 10. Now people are liking Windows 10. New version is 11 is also released into market. So guys, understand the bottom of this one. Operating system kernel interact with your hardware. Device drivers help to interact with the particular device, specific devices. Compulsory 32-bit OS, 32-bit hardware, 32-bit OS, 32-bit drivers must be maintained. 64-bit processor, 64-bit operating system. So 64-bit drivers compulsory maintained. That is the bottom part, guys. In middle part, so when you are interacting with the system, so in system applications and services runs based on a service background. Okay, background there is a set services are running. So we are looking at your screen, your processor, you are getting an IP address, you are opening applications. Okay, like all these things. Okay, based on a internal services. Okay. Next, your applications. You are running an application. Different type of applications are there. Regularly, desktop applications, Windows stores. In Microsoft Windows 10, We have Windows Store is also there. This is the Windows Store part. Okay, you can see from Windows 10, Windows Store. Windows Store is simple. I can open, but I'm not opening. I will open then. So similarly, like your Google Store kind of stuff, Play Store. So you can download applications, games from the Windows Store also. What is requirement? You require a Microsoft mail account. Microsoft mail account is required. Okay, so Microsoft Windows Store, from Windows Store, you can take an application and you can run it. You can download any application and install the application, you can run it. What is this middle one? UWP, Universal Windows Platform Apps. You know, Android people knows this means usually people know Android Studio. Android Studio is to build an Android application for mobile phones, tablets, TVs, that Android based devices, right? Android Studio use it to build Android applications. Universal Windows Platform use it to build Windows based applications. Already I told guys, Windows mobile operating system is not much in the market. Why? Because of Android applications are more. Different application support are there in Android. Of course, I started some organization or a service or like a streaming service kind of stuff. I can build a application for Android and I will give a contract for Android developers, Android apps, and ISO means iPhone related iOS related apps. So people will build and distribute it. But Windows apps builders are very less. Anybody is interested to build an application for Windows Store, you can also try. No, never think about you're missing a developer opportunity. Still, there is a lot of opportunities are there, guys, which we can able to do at our own. So you can start with a universal Windows platform. You can download freely. You can download it freely. Okay, so no need to worry. Thing. Okay, you have to learn one or two languages for that one, like a .NET based languages. You can build an application with that one. Yeah, again, these applications running based on a certain things like a .NET frameworks, Win32 environment, or Windows RT APIs kind of stuff. Okay, in generally all Windows desktop applications runs on a either Win32 environment, so Windows Win32 environment. Another hand, .NET framework. To run some application, we require a .NET framework. So this is also not finished. For example, you want to run Java application. Java runtime environment is required, JRE. You want to run a Python based application or a Python file, you need a Python environment is required, right? So that part is to run an application, you need an operating system, of course. To what type of application you are running, Windows based, or a .NET based, or a Java based. So based on that, environment also provided by our operating system only. Okay, if it is not there, then you have to do it. So in the total part, service is also very important. If possible, I will show you that one. Okay, so guys, take a break and we'll discuss about a Windows 10. Okay, how much we can complete, that much I will tell. Basic, I will show you few things in a Windows 10. We'll try. Tomorrow possible class is there, guys. Okay, if not there, I will inform you. Possibility, there is a small class I will conduct in morning session only for your batch. Okay, so take a break, come back in a 10 minutes. Okay, take 10 minutes break. 12:30. Okay.